hangout ever. And well, I will show you how to perform this very intricate operation of placing these Nyon microscopic screws. Let's see, I'm going to show you these Nyon microscopic screws that are attached to this very handy magnet onto this watch. Now, for those of you who watched the previous video, and that's the aggression in the male individual, it also went on to a lighter note of scrambling around, trying to losing a screw, and I lost a screw. And these are possibly the smallest screws imaginable. You would need I think like an atomic width screwdriver to be smaller, to be more minute than this. Now, I'm just going to say a little bit of a shout out, a little bit of an advert, like that's Kiel and Company, who may exist in other countries. I'm not sure. They are selling these very good, nifty little screwdrivers that are perfect for things like this. Now, I was using a damned. These screwdrivers that you get, they have two different ends. These micro screwdrivers, and it has a Phillips end and it has a flat bladed end. Well, I used these before earlier. I tried and failed, and I was quite delighted to figure out that you can change the camera position. Yeah, that works, sort of. Yeah, I was delighted to figure out that the end that looks at a glance, doesn't look as thin, and its farthest point is thin enough. Is actually made for these screws, and also it's magnetized, which you really do bloody need. So this is obviously a computer repair type screwdriver, and it is absolutely mandatory. And the only thing is that the magnetism is only so great, and you have to be pretty precise. So no one does this by hand. So I had to. So earlier I screwed in a battery cover, right? Now, when you see the battery cover on this, you at first glance you won't even know that it's a battery cover. And I know that one of my viewers who recommended this watch to me has the same watch, so take note. This is a pain in the arse. Maybe this is a reason to have another hangout, right? And don't get me wrong. These things are a pleasure, right? Because eventually, if they don't break completely, they'll get right. And the things I found were irritating, rather irritating, was that you have to actually take. You don't have to, but initially you won't know where the battery is. There's a standard because it has a label over it. And when you look at this, you have the impression that you will have to take apart the whole damned shaboodle, right? Which you don't actually have to do. You have to take off this, tear off this label that tells you it tells you the kind of battery you need. It doesn't tell you exactly that you have this panel. It doesn't look really like a panel, and once you've taken this off, you have to put it on in the right way. So you have to put this tiny little hinge in, and it may be entirely fine just to leave some of the screws off in the interior panel, because these things are sort of put together by to be 100% certain of stability. This is a It's not. It's not the standard. Though it's inexpensive. It's not the standard digital watch, because this actually has a pulse monitor. So you could, I think, if you really wanted to, you could take the guts out of this watch, and you could put the guts of this watch in a nicer case, right? So I'm turning it. I have the camera balanced on the it's hanging from the edge of a door. By the way, it's another thing. I highly recommend the top end or almost top end Logitech cameras. Right, so here we are. I'm turning it. Now this is how utterly inept I am. Right. One thing, these little micro glasses repairing screwdrivers are useless. They're useless for anything that is slightly more technical. They're useless. They are useless. So I'm using the I'm using a hello. I'm using it's a great camera angle, right? I'm using a this one, right? Because it you really need magnetism, and you need the ergonomics of this, because the tiny screwdrivers, they are not any good for anything that is a little bit sturdier or resilient. So these are great. These are absolutely great. I almost didn't buy this, and for 99p, less than 99p, I'm actually tempted to buy another one when I go to that company. So now I've screwed I've got two of the screws on this, right? So I'm tempted to just say, fine, that's okay. Right. And this, while I've been doing this, it's found my pulse, and according to this, my pulse is 68, which I actually highly doubt. It's as low as that. So according to this watch, it's the 1st of January. Damn it. Right. So shall I put the rest of these damned screws in or not? Shall I? Shall I just be a completionist and do it? Well, okay, I suppose I will. Because I may lose these screws, right? So, by the way, in case you haven't seen, this is like a multi-ended screwdriver. Now, I have a more expensive multi-ended screwdriver, and guess what end it doesn't have? There you go. Which was probably cost about 10 times, yeah, exactly 10 times as much as this, 7 to 10 times as much as this. So let's give it a go, because this is the satisfaction. Now, I bought these watch batteries. I was very delighted. I told you, if you've watched the other video, I was delighted to find these are 3-volt batteries. As you will often find the smaller kind of watch batteries. So this takes what are popularly understood or thought of as they are weighing scales batteries. There's round disc-shaped ones. And as odd as it sounds, in general, the average appliance doesn't have that kind of battery for some reason. But I was quite surprised, delighted at how many of how available they are. But the variation of prices between them. Had I waited a little longer, I wanted to use this tuner, because I'm a learner. I'm a violin learner, and that's So I bought this pack of 2 batteries. They were kind of high quality batteries, right? I could have bought 60 or so of lower quality, but anyway, yeah, right. This silly thing is turning off. What's happening? This silly damned watch is turning off. I don't know what's happened. What's happened? It's died. I have no idea. Oh, so I try and be clever, and I put all of the batteries in. It decides to go blank. This watch has died. Come on, watch. So now I'm going to have to take all of these out. Now, this is something you need for these bastards. I lost this screw during the video. That's why I can't cut the video off the last time. So my somewhat attempt at being philosophical ended up by showing aggression. This damn thing. So I'm going to take two of the bottom of these godforsaken screws out. Now, this is how technically inept I am. Now, this is embarrassing. Now, I do realise that in some cultures, actually, the screws, devices, where, if I'm not mistaken, certain things made by Nintendo, and Nintendo have their own kind of screws that are sort of hex. I think they're sort of pentagonal, a pentagonal type hole in them. Let's look. Let's look at my right. Let's see. Oh, getting Facebook messages. Who's this from? This one. Right. What to do? Right, you died. This as I mentioned, this has just died. So I'll take these damned. Right, I'm going to leave one of the screws in, I think. I'm getting Facebook plingings in my ears. I don't like ignoring Facebook messages. That's why there's a momentary lapse, as you saw just now. Right. Damn, now have I been through all this drama just for it not to work? Have I been doing these screws up too tightly? Now, the fact that there's no care manual of such with this means you're in the dark. Now it was on temporarily. It was on. You bugger. What have I got to do? I think what it is, it's something to do with the. Right, so let's get moved to a flat blade to get this bastard up. I had a little penknife around here. See if I'll find that. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know this is riveting, right? This is riveting broadcasting. Now, just to say, the slight design flaw of these is that the ends aren't exactly easy to get out. I don't think they're supposed to be pushed in the way that they are. So, you know, that's tricky. I had to use this to get this out. Right, here we are. So, you there. Thank you. Now, I'm using this flat blade to open this bastard up. Right. Ah, it is. It hops out. Okay, it's open. Right. Right. Now, what is right with this? Oh! This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I wonder if I should just leave the back off of this watch. It seems whenever I put the back on, my God, what is with this? It's some kind of reset thing. I'm most confused. I'm confused and perplexed. Right. I think this back stays on without the screws. I mean, I'm tempted just to say I'll just hold it in without the screws. Come on. All right. Could it be I didn't tighten the interior panel? All right, coming off, coming out. Right, so now with the back off. Right. Let's give it a go, shall we? Absolutely, this thing, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I have reason to believe this needs to be tighter. I like this watch because talking on the subject of aggression. This watch has a pulse monitor, and when I was in a hangout with a person, Mr. Ben David, we were talking to Dario Nardi, and we both have the same kind of watches, and we test. Dario Nardi, by the way, is a famous neuroscientist who is sort of very much within this self-help kind of thing. He sees the Jungian types with the use of EEGs. Oh, fuck. And this happens. I've now lost a screw. Bollocks. Right now, God willing, this will work. Right, so the back's on. The back is on. I have 3 screws, and I've lost a screw. I think what it is it was getting too tight or something. I'm not sure. Because when you start many of these watches and such, they have like this tab you're supposed to pull. Now the thing that's inside that the contact is yeah. So you pull away this tab, and the contact between the battery and the watch is established, right? It's basic sort of electronics. Well, what was going on when I'm putting the back on is when it's too tight, somehow it's triggering this off mode that says that, well, no, this is the tab is still in. I'm like, damn, bam, bam, bam. All right, see here. I've lost the screw, damn it. At least it's not inside. No, the screw's here. Now, there's something I suppose I could do one-handed. I could have this here. And I could have the camera over. I could give you something more riveting in terms of camera angles. Let's see. Magnetize you. Come up. No. Right, this is just like the ultimate how-to video. How to fit the back on an alien watch. Right, let's see. Is that racist? I didn't mean it like that. I meant alien as in parts from humans. Come here. Right. Are you in? You in? You in? You in? You in? Come here. Come here. Damn. Damn. It's not easy. No, I'm going to try and get this bastard end on the screwdriver. Come on. Yeah, right. This is like the golden child moment. Oh, screwing in. Screwing in. It's going in, it's going in, it's going in, it's going in, it's going in. It's going in, it's going in, it's going in. I'm not going to put the other damn screw in. Right. I'm going to tighten these to a pessimum. It's not exactly the minimum. It's just enough to keep them in. But it's crazy. It's held in by the strap itself. Now, right. So the date is, here we are. It's fixed. It's fixed. Right. Wouldn't it be nice if things like this had on and off switches? I know that someone out there has created one of these things, but you know, laptops and such, TVs. Wouldn't it be nice if there would be a lever, just one lever to pull to turn it on and off, rather than control? You know, remotes, wireless remotes. You know, infrared remotes, and there's no real nice button on the side of these things. You know. Those are my monsters anyway, so let's try and edit this thing. Right. Well, some things are standard. The button on the right is for setting it. And you have to set it it's quite intricately. I'm going to put this on. This is the breast. This is going to be the breast camera. Let's see. No, that weren't good. Yeah, so the month is. Yeah, I actually had to think about that. Let's see. Lighting is good enough. So let's try. That's all right. That's better. Tonight. Perfect. It has a few settings. You know, this is a pulse. You say this is damn. This Google Hangouts is in reverse. So that's the accurately timed exercise timer, and this is the clock and calendar. So years, right? It's a month. It'd be the 12th. I can edit this. I can make this. I can edit this. Because I'm not sure if you're seeing what I do. I'm seeing mirror image of what's on this screen. Damn it. So we've got we've got the month right. Day. Hour. B. I don't know. It's actually the 16th. I think it has the right day. Hour 10 minutes. 51. Yeah, I can see my hands are in an awful state. Okay. I know. Right. Birth? 1960? I don't think so. Should I give myself another year? Let's say 1977. I'm 1 year older. So all of my physical failings can be sort of can be. No, let's make myself a year older than I am. My physical failings can be blamed on my being a year older, right? First, that's not really important. Sex, male. Weight. Weight. I think it's 160 or something. I'm not sure. You see, it has this. It has like this is bought from Asia, but it has sort of imperial measurements, which I think are annoying. I mean, we for some reason in the UK we use for weighing people, we tend to use pounds and stones. But I found in the US, people who know the pounds, but they don't know the 160 is 10 stone, right? Let's be honest, it's more like 166. Right. So now we have the right time. We have the wrong date. Fuck. Month. 12th. There you are. Now I get it. Right. I had the right year. Yes. Well, that's it. Hope you found that enjoyable.